You clearly can't find my number at the moment. Okay, I just want to be brief because I'm supposed to be speaking in Parliament in an hour's time. First of all, I just want to, to all the teachers and other staff that are here, I just want to say thank you. You are professional educators, and in my constituency, what you do is you give our children the best start in life possible. And you give them opportunities they wouldn't have if you weren't there providing such a wonderful educational service. I think it's just important that you are thanked. You are professionals. You've trained, and that training for most of you has cost you large amounts of money. You've trained, you apply your professional skills, and you do it in my patch certainly to some of the children in living in the most deprived conditions, and you give them opportunities they would never have. And if you look at the performance of our schools in our local area, my constituency in particular is what I know, the performance is just superb, absolutely superb. Children coming in, and you know as well as I do, we're dealing with lots of children from all different backgrounds. Some of them are arriving in our schools from, well, yeah, areas of deprivation across the globe. And what you do, you provide them the securities where they can enjoy their education. Then you provide them with those opportunities to enjoy education as well, despite all the pressures that you're under. So I just want to say thanks for all that you do. And what I can't comprehend really is, if I can understand what you do and the contribution that you make, why can't government ministers? Why can't they? Because my daughter's a teacher up north as well. She's out on strike at the moment. And I know the hours that she puts in, not just in teaching, but in the preparation and all those other things that you do as teachers. And I know the pressure that you're under, and that fear of the Ofsted inspection, the league tables and all the rest. And we've seen some of the tragic consequences of that as well. So for all that commitment, I expect you to be paid at least a wage upon which you can live. And what the government is offering at the moment is actually to push you further down the rank, and for many teachers, well, to insecurity and poverty. At the moment, you know as well as I do, inflation is above 10%. Food inflation this month was 19%. So anyone offered anything below the rate of inflation, you don't have to be a maths genius on this, do you? Anything offered below the rate of inflation is a pay cut. Now, some people may be able to endure that for 1 year or 2 years, but we've had 13 years. So most of you now are earning wages were at least above 20% below that you would have earned before the banking crash in 2007, 2008. You can't go on like that. People can't survive. And then when ministers try and inflict upon it, what we've tried to do in Parliament and elsewhere, and I have to say the NEU and the other unions have been brilliant at this, trying to get across to ministers what it means, not just in terms of hardship for teachers, but on the simple thing about how can you retain people and recruit people if you're not willing to pay them realistically a wage that they can survive on. We're at the stage now in this dispute, I think, where we've won the argument with the general public. I've not received a single email. I've not received a single email complaining about this strike. I've received lots of emails supporting it and asking me what are we doing about it in terms of pressing the government for action. So it shows out there the general public support you. And it's interesting as well. It's interesting because the strike itself, you may not think at the moment it's having much effect. It is. It's putting an awful lot of pressure on a lot of Tory MPs on their back benches now, because their constituents are now beginning to lobby them, not just teachers, but parents as well. And you can see they're beginning to fracture. So I know it's tough going on strike, and I know this has been a long, arduous dispute, but actually I think we are on the edge of a victory. I think we can see them breaking up. Their argument that they haven't got the money doesn't stand up anymore. In the last budget, they gave away $9 billion to corporations in tax relief cuts.
Shame.
They gave away $1 billion to the wealthiest pensioners in our country. They've just had quite a significant advance in their public finances of about 13 billion that has unexpectedly come in because of higher tax receipts this period. So they have what they call financially the headroom to easily settle this dispute, and actually the health dispute as well. What's preventing them is a political obstinacy. I also actually think as well there's a political tactic going on here of squeezing finances this year for a budget next year just before the general election. You can see it all manipulating in that way. I don't think they'll be able to hold out because the pressure on them as a result of this dispute, as I say, I think they're beginning to fracture amongst themselves. So I know it's tough and I know it's hard, but this dispute is working and it is fundamental. And I just say this as well, I just want to congratulate you for striking, and not just about pay, because in every meeting I've been in with the NEU, on every platform I've heard an NEU speaker, all of them said it isn't just about pay, it's about the funding of education overall, because there's no use settling this dispute on the basis of existing school budgets, because we know what that means. It means cuts in other areas. In addition, I have to say as well, I think it's more about pay and it's more than just about education budgets. I think it's about respect for the profession as well, respect for what educators do. They're a foundation of our society, essential for any healthy society for the future. You're building the future society by educating our children. So this dispute brings all those things together, and I think that's why you've got mass support. And I just want to say this, I go back into Parliament, we'll be raising this issue again. We'll be on picket lines and demonstrations all the way through until we win. And make sure you realise this, we are going to win. We're going to secure decent pay, but also we're going to secure decent funding for our schools. And as I say, respect for your profession. Solidarity.
Yay!